If I'm going to miss a 50% chance shot, whether it's a bank or some type of cut or something else, I want them to be left with a 50% or worse chance shot for them. Whenever I'm asked the question, who do you play tonight? I say it doesn't matter, because I'm basically playing myself. And what I mean by that is if you don't take every game seriously and you make smart choices, then it really doesn't matter who you're playing. Because you can lose to a bad player by them having a good night and you taking a bunch of dumb shots. And you can lose to a good player just by simply thinking that you're going to lose. So maybe they have a bad night, give you plenty of chances to win, but you're already in the mindset of losing and you just start getting nervous and taking bad shots or miscuing or just off your game. If you're not in the right mindset, it makes it really hard to win. So the truth is, it actually does matter who you're playing, but first you want to get in that mindset of it really doesn't matter. I got to stick to my game. I got to make my shot choices. I got to take advantage of all the opportunities I have. But in the end, it does matter, because if you're playing a better shooter, then you really got to be key on what type of shots you leave them. Playing a worse shooter, there's some leeway where you can take a few more risky shots and it doesn't affect you as much, but you can lose to a worse shooter easy just by dicking around or not taking the match seriously. I've seen a lot of times where people go and think they're going to win all 3 games and end up losing 1, 2, all 3 sometimes. And then I've seen people surprised where they go and they play a better shooter, but they're having a bad night for whatever reason, just some things went their way. I mean, it's pool. Anybody can win a single game. You can't win all the games. It's not possible. Sometimes the table's against you, the layout's against you, sometimes having a good night, they're having a bad night. You're going to be able to beat good shooters, so you got to keep that in your mind at all times when you're playing. This is the video where we talk about some of the things that we need to do to beat a better shooter. And the way to beat a better shooter is to be a better player. One of the things that comes down to is shot selection. What is shot selection? When the average player thinks about shot selection, they're looking on the table to maybe see what's the easiest shot that they can make. And that's about as far as it really goes. When you get a little bit up from that level, you're looking at what shots you can make and what can you make after that based on where you think the cue ball might go. So I'm going to make the 3 in the corner because then I can shoot the 7 in the side. That's when you're getting a little bit average and above. But to become a really great player and a better player, you're going to start thinking about, all right, what's my shot selection? If I make the 3 in the corner, I'll also have a shot at the 7. How hard is that 3 in the corner shot? And if I miss, this is key, if I miss that shot, where does the cue ball go? And what shots does my opponent have? And that's how you become a better player. It's not just about you. You're not the only player there. Don't be selfish and just think about yourself and what stuff you get to shoot at. Don't forget about the other player. What are you leaving them to shoot at? If you have a shot that you can make 9 out of 10 times, for me, 9 out of 10 times is still pretty risky. I want to make sure that if I miss that shot, I have a backup plan. Backup plan is, where am I going to leave the cue ball? If I'm comparing a shot that I'll make 60% of the time with a shot I'll make 50% of the time, those shots really don't matter which one I take, because that's still a lot of risk. So I'll take the one that leaves the cue ball, or where I can leave the cue ball in a worse place for them to have a shot. If I'm going to miss a 50% chance shot, whether it's a bank or some type of cut or something else, I want them to be left with a 50% or worse chance shot for them. I don't want to leave them any straight ins or any type of shutters or breakup shots. So that's what I'm looking at. That's how you become a better player. That's what shot selection means. So each time you come to the table, there are 3 things that you should always ask yourself. Number 1, what shots do I have? Number 2, where does the cue ball go? And number 3, if I miss, based on the answer to number 2, where the cue ball goes, what shots do they have? And if you get in the habit of thinking about that, it doesn't have to be every shot. Obviously, when you're starting out shooting, if you're playing worse players, average players, you're going to get more than one trip to the table. So you really don't have to think so much about it right away. But as you start going and you start getting into the game a little bit, and you start clearing balls off table, maybe when you get 3, 2, 1 ball left, that's when you really got to start really thinking about, what am I leaving them with if I miss this shot? And that's key to becoming a better player. So in this video, I'm going to show you just a few scenarios because we're going to talk more about different types of scenarios, but just a few scenarios, some of them exaggerated, some of them from just practice on my table, and I'll explain what I'm thinking, what you should do, and what you want to try to do so that you can understand what I mean when I say shot selection. All right, I'm going to be using a Microsoft Paint program, and I just took a screenshot of the pool table. For this scenario here, we are going to be stripes. So as you can see, there's two shots immediately available. You can see a cut 13 this way, and you can see that there is maybe a weird cut here, but that's I mean, if you want to attempt that shot, sure, but the more obvious one is looking like a bank here. So let's pretend like we go this way. If we hit this ball, the cue ball is going to come this way somewhere. So if we were to take this shot and miss, we want to hit it soft enough, but hard enough that it actually drifts over into this area right here. Call this the safe zone, because then if you miss, you see that, you're not going to hit the two. So I don't actually recommend taking that shot. What I would do in this scenario is I would just go ahead and try this bank for many reasons. First one being that if you stop the cue ball here or hit it soft enough so that it even stops in this area, the shot at the 2 is going to look like this. Where do you hit this? It can't go through the 13. You could try to cut it if it would even go past the 8. It'd be close, but that's a pretty difficult shot. And let's say that you do make this bank. Well, if you leave the cue ball right here, then we are looking at having a possible shot at the 13 anyways. So definitely with the 12 bank here is the shot to take, and make sure that you are able to leave it for anywhere from hitting the ball to this zone. If you are going to try to cut the 13, you really want to be able to get into this zone right here if you think you're going to miss. If you think you're going to make it, and this is where I lose a lot of games, even if this is a 95% chance shot, that means 1 out of 20 games you're going to miss, or 1 out of 20 attempts you're going to miss this shot. And if you're going for the win, you're going to hit it hard enough so that you can actually get a lead on your next ball all the way down here. So you probably, if you're going to try to get a lead off that shot, you're going to come this way, hit it hard enough to come this way. It's going to come off this rail, and then you're looking to hopefully make it past the 2 back here so that you can hit the 12 this way. Not very probable. You're probably going to get stuck even if you make the ball, but it's a high chance you're going to miss, I would just take this bank right here. That's scenario 1. That's the type of stuff I'm looking at. I'll do 4 more scenarios for you to look at so you can see what I would do. Alright, for the next scenario, you are stripes again. And what do you think we should do here? Obviously, people are going to want to try to cut this fucking ball this way. Otherwise, they're going to come here and try to cut this fucking ball this way. That's okay. Both of those shots are okay. As long as you hit these cuts, whichever one you do, it's going to be the same. As long as you hit these cuts soft enough that you just make the ball because you want your cue ball to maybe land in this area, or very, very slowly, depending on which way you cut. So you don't want to take this 12 and hit it too hard. So if you're going to actually do this shot, yeah, fuck it. You know what? If you're going to do this shot, I'm just assuming you're an average player, and you're actually going to try to cut this ball, I would come off the 13. Because if you do hit it too hard, at least it will bounce this way and come back this way, and it'll hopefully get blocked by the 12 somewhere in here, or they'll have this sticked up shot. And if it drifts anywhere along the way out here, the shot still just sucks, you know? I mean, you're getting some banking shit. If you're over here, that's fucked up. It's going to be down here type of shot. So if you're going to have to make an attempt here on a cut, then I go for the 13 so that the cue ball comes this way. What I would do to be safe is I would simply just stop the ball here, little bank action, bring this 12 back down this way, and I would try to stop the ball here. And if I miss, I would let them go ahead and take this shot. This is a pretty difficult shot to go past this pocket here, or maybe they'll try to come across this way and cross bank it, but whatever. The thing with this is if you bank this shot and you stop the cue ball right here, 12's going to go down this way. Let's say you make it, your cue ball's here, you have your next shot on the 13, and hopefully you stop it in this area so you get a little bit of angle so you can actually get over here for the 8. But the shot that I would take is definitely this bank. Like I said, if you're going to cut, it has to be the 13 because you don't want to cut the 12 and end up with the cue ball coming over this way. So you don't want this to happen, where this sneaks through here and you hit it too hard and it fucking just ends up a straight in shot. So if you're going to cut, here we go. Somewhere over here, anywhere over here, just don't hit it so hard that it ends up way back here. You have to put it pretty decently hard, so don't do that. If you want to play it safe, I go for this bank all day, stop the cue ball right up in this area, and then you'll have a shot at 13 if you happen to make it, and then they'll have this kind of dicked up shot here. If your opponent is a really good player and you think they can make that shot, then you probably want to, and this is where you have to adapt to what your opponent's going to be doing. And you're going to want to cut this 13 if you have a really good opponent and try to trap the cue ball here so it would be soft, or you got to hit it hard enough so that it does come off this rail and anywhere out here so that it makes this cut really hard on the 8 will work. So that's scenario number 2. We hope you're getting the hang of this. Alright, scenario number 3, you are solids finally. You can see right away that there are 2 main shots. Maybe a bank here. It's be difficult for a lot of people. Or you got this cut shot. I don't care if you can make this cut shot all fucking day. I don't even care if it's 100% chance. I wouldn't take it. If you take this cut shot, miss or make, there's a high chance that you're running into this 13 ball here. Probably going to pop the 13 out, leave the cue ball here, and they're just going to run the fucking table out on you. They have so many shots. If you hit this 5 and fly with that 13, they're going to have so many shots over there. You could maybe get lucky and bury them, but you probably, even if you make this 5 and you hit back in here, you could get stuck behind the 12. You could pop this out and get stuck. You may not even have a shot to 6. So in this scenario, you definitely have to take the 6 shot here. I wouldn't try to cut it because the cue ball would go too far out this way. I would just try to bank it like this. And if you end up with the cue ball hitting off this rail and landing in here, or really anywhere here. So, I mean, you don't want to hit it too hard, but you got a lot of free room here because even if the ball's out here, cue ball's out here, they got some, they got a cut out here. What are they going to do? Hit this 12 into this grouping to make the 11 that way? I mean, the shots that they have from over here, besides this cut this way, it's just not, they're not good. You can hit the 12 off the 11. That's probably some shit that I would try doing on the next shot, but I mean, you're pretty much going to have another shot. And let's say that you do make this shot, even though it's low chance, and your cue ball ends up in here somewhere. Look at this shot right here on the 5. Hopefully it ends up, maybe out here a little bit more, somewhere in this area, because then you can get, different angle on the 5. Maybe either get to this rail through it and come around, or maybe you can get an angle where it actually hits and comes out this way and back for the 8. But the shot here is definitely the 6 all day. Even if you can make this 99% of the time, you're talking about having to throw some English on it, low left, to try to even get through here. And let's say that you do miss that 13 and you maybe come into this corner here, do a little rattle. You might scrape this 8 and end up right back over here. And maybe you make it through here. I don't know. It would be pretty rare to make it through there even if you made the 5. If you're highly skilled and that's the shot you want to take, I mean, go for it. I wouldn't really try this bank. That is an option too, because if your cue ball ends up here, that's pretty much straight combo this way. And if it stays over here in this area, they can hit the 12 pretty much into this pocket here, that fucking circle. So if the cue ball ends up staying here, I mean, they're gonna hit the 12. This is a combo either way. So take the 6. It's gonna be something like that. You'll figure it out. Something like that. Don't hit it too hard, just enough so that it just barely drops in the pocket. That's scenario number 3. Alright, for this scenario, we are stripes again, and you have, looks like 2 shots. You can go this way with the 12, or you can cut the 12 this way, or you maybe could try some type of bank, but it looks like the 6 might be blocking the bank. So you have 2 cut shots. What do you think we should do here? If you said go this way, just slap yourself. If we go that way, the cue ball is going to roll this way, and eventually hit this rail and come out over here. So unless we are able to stop this cue ball, if we miss, behind the 8, they're going to have a pretty much straight in shot. So say the cue ball is in this area, or it comes out anywhere over here. They have shots at the 6 from both sides, and then they'll have a shot at 5 right after. So that's bad direction to go in case you miss. The better direction to go is to cut this 12 this way. And when you cut this 12, you don't want to hit it soft enough so that it just rolls, out here somewhere and gives them a shot at 6 anyways. What we're looking to do with this is to hit this hard enough so that the cue ball actually comes way down here, at least down here. Bounces off this way, not too far. So maybe about right here is where we want to be. So we're looking to get on this rail basically, or somewhere into this rail, close enough to the rail, or further away so that when they have to shoot back this way, they got a long shot at the 5, or they got a cut at the 6. And say those are 75% chance shots. The other way would be even worse. You'd be looking at trying to trap behind the 8 there. And I mean, you really could hit this and come off here and try to get to this rail, because nobody wants to shoot off the rail. So if you did miss and you somehow got out here, you have to hit the top of the ball and do a cut that whole length of the table off the top, which is pretty hard. And the same over here. Really, these shots that they're left with, no matter what, coming off this side is the better side, but those shots aren't going to be that difficult, but it's your best bet to go that direction. Also, because if you do happen to make this shot going this way, then your 12 drifts out, hopefully over here, but anywhere in this area here, and look what you got. The cue ball, if you make this shot, you got 8 right in the side. Over here, 8 in the side. Over here, you can maybe go 8 down, but you still got 8 in the side. So even though you could leave them with shots that are potentially good, I think it's worse if you go this way. Because like I said, you glide in the 8, get stuck by the 8, move the 8. Even if you make the shot this way, you could really mess up your 8 shot. And you're really looking at burying behind the 8s and not giving them a shot this way. So again, don't do this. I would go with this. Make sure the cue ball comes out this way so the ball is in the best direction. And like I said, I mean, right here on this rail, that's not that hard of a shot, but even if that's 90% shot and this is 80% shot, it's still better than leaving them straight on this way in the 6. So that's scenario number 4. We don't always make it so they have a very low probability shot, but of the given scenarios, you want to leave yourself in the best situation, and you want to give them the lowest probability shot that you have. And coming off that way, so you have the 8 in the side, if you do make it, is your best bet both ways for making your next shot and giving them a harder shot. Unless you're so skilled, you can drop it behind the 8, cut the ball this way. Let's go to scenario 5 now. And for scenario 5, I wanted to demonstrate that sometimes it's not necessarily about where you leave them, but where you leave yourself. As you can see here, you are solids in this scenario. You have a slight angled cut at 7, and you have a pretty much straight in shot at the 2. So most people are going to be like, hey, this 2 ball straight in, let me take that. If you hit this 2 ball, and you don't stop it with English, right here, for this shot, which is still a little bit of a cut, your cue ball could end up rolling out here, here, or something like this. And if it ends up anywhere on that line, you have these type of random ass shots, a bank, or a harder cut at the 3, an easier cut at 3. So if you're going to take that straight in shot, you have to keep in mind that when you hit it, you have to hit it with probably some top English, because I don't think hitting it hard enough is going to make it that far. So you're going to have to hit the top of the cue ball and make sure it rolls all the way down here. That is difficult to do if you're an average player. So, and I should do if you miss the shot for some reason. I mean, they have shots all day. There's almost nowhere you can have leaving this for that kind of shot. It would be weird. You'd have to miss pretty bad. So let me just resize this quick so you can see that pocket. Okay. So the shot that you want to do, being solids, is going to have to go this way. You have very, very slight angle. That's going to cause the cue ball to hit and to roll out this way. So if it stops in here and you make it, got this shot here. That's not going to be good enough for you because the 3's there. So when you take this type of shot, realize that you do have to hit it hard enough so that the cue ball either drifts to this side, or if you hit it, you have a little gap, it could drift to this side. And if you actually hit into the ball, make sure you hit hard enough so that it actually causes this 3 to bounce out and leave the cue ball somewhere over here. So what I'm saying to you is there's 3 different ways you can get a leave on that 3, and all of them include making sure that when you hit this ball, it's hit hard enough that the cue ball makes it somewhere into this area. And then you would have a shot at the 3, hopefully this way. Say your cue ball is this way, and then you can roll, cue ball for this 2 back this way. And then you could stop it and have a shot at the 8 this way. all along those paths. I mean, if the cue ball stops over here or here and you miss, I mean, maybe at this point here, but that's still a cut in the side. If it gets far enough this way, maybe they could get it over here. But there's really not a good spot to leave them. But this is definitely the shot that you want to look at here, and you want to look at hitting hard enough to jerk the cue ball anywhere into this area. It's not such a bad thing if you fly with the 3 as long as you hit it hard enough so that the 3 pops off this railing out a little bit. So it takes a little bit of practice in cue ball control, but I just wanted to make you aware that it's not always about where you leave them. A lot of the times when you're playing, you have to also think about where you leave yourself. Because sometimes there's almost no way to make the legitimate attempt in this league and not give them a shot. So at this point, you're still playing for the win and playing for your own leaves. So I hope to do more of these type of scenarios in the future. This is the part that I think will continue on past the series. So you'll be able to submit screenshots, scenarios, videos, and I'll tell you what I would do, and hopefully you learn something from it. If you would take different routes than anything I described, go ahead and put it in the comments. Point it out. We're here to learn. We're here to teach people how to win more at Bar League Pool. It's a little bit different than BCA because there's no safeties. So we're all here to learn. So go ahead and leave a comment or show me a video or send me a photo, and I'll make sure I get it in one of these series here. So that's scenario number 5. Alrighty, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Sorry that one took a while, but I wanted to make sure that I explained in at least 5 different types of scenarios what I would do. And I will get the next video out as soon as possible. I'm trying to get, like I said, 1 video a week, and then after that I'm going to put out just scenarios and what I would do, talking through them, because I think that's how you're going to learn the most after 6 or 7 videos in the series. And then we'll do that weekly, and then maybe if once I get enough videos up, I'll take just requests of what people would do and make videos of that, or I'll do like a once a month, like top 5, top 10. So just to get enough scenarios out there so you can kind of like get the thought process yourself, and you should be good to go after that and start winning more pool. So we'll see you next time.